Hey guys, it's Paul from Ashen Phoenix. It is New Comic Book Day for the week of February 19th, and we're going to get started right now. This episode brought to you by the Comic Book Store, 30 North Main Street, Glassboro, New Jersey, 08028. Come buy some comics, come buy some D&D stuff, just come buy stuff.
Hey guys, it's Tim from Capes and Scowls, and how are you? Let's talk about trades, because that's what we do here. We've got the Mueller Report illustrated from the Washington Post. Doesn't that sound like fun? We've got Agents of Atlas. This actually came out last week, but our copies were missing, so Agents of Atlas is a thing. We have Death's Head, freelance peacekeeping agent. This is all the old Death's Head stuff from the late 80s, even some older stuff. Oh man, this is great. This is fantastic. Death's Head is a weird book. You should check it out. We got Firepower, Robert Kirkman and Chris Somney book. Original book, just trade, original graphic novel book thing. We have Marvel Spider-Man Velocity. This is their Gamerverse. You like this, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
He likes it. Gwenpool Strikes Back. She sure does. I got nothing. Taskmaster. I enjoy Taskmaster a lot. He's a cool character. Hopefully he's good in their movie he's going to be in. Hit Girl in India, continuing this series of books that focus on her in specific places. Xena, Warrior Princess. I never got into it. Sorry. House of Whispers. This is a lot of fun, right? We don't know. We never read it. Batman Detective Comics Mythology, Volume 1. This is Peter J. Tomasi and Doug Monk. Good stuff. This is some newer stuff. Okay. Then we've got Battle Pug, which I reviewed and is a lot of fun because it's Conan on a giant dog. That's what it is. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This is the end of the Donny Cates run. I think it's the end. Pretty sure it's the end. There might be one more. I don't know. This came out so late. I feel like this came out so late. I feel like Donny Cates wrote Volume 1 and that came out like 7 years ago. Okay? I'm exaggerating, but Donny Cates good. You should read it.
First up, we have Marauders issue number 8. Can't really spoil too much, but the things that have arisen in the last 2 issues have finally come to light, and that has pissed off quite a few people, including Bobby, who you kind of forget how Omega level he is until he kind of goes rough in this book. It's still hands down my favorite title of the new X books, and this is a fun one to read. The interactions between the characters, as some pull apart and some pull together, are just spectacular.
All right, guys. First up, we have Dr. Tomorrow, number 1. This is a newer Valiant character that I don't know anything about, so I figured let's check this out. I like the cover. Kind of reminds me of Battle for the Planets. Yeah, old school Battle for the Planets. Eagle Riders for you 90s kids. Man, they'll call it anything to sell it to America, right? Anyways, this is nothing at all like that. This is a guy who goes through time, and this is like a weird setup issue. There's not a ton of action, but I appreciate it. Basically, what you have is a guy going back in time, which is not cool, to recruit himself, which is also not cool. He gives his past self, which is young, like 15-year-old version of him. He's from a parallel dimension. It's a whole thing. He gives him a power suit, and he's like, hey, we need to, do this thing, and if you live, you'll be, a science superhero. Science is so cool, isn't it, kids? And that's basically the story. Interesting. Very interesting. Looks like it's going to go someplace pretty cool, but I don't know. It's a weird book, man. Check it out. You like weird stuff.
Next up, we have God Killers, issue number 1. This is kind of an odd one. One of my issues with books of this nature is that they don't give you enough to go on to really kind of understand what's going on. There's a lot of information in the back of the book that kind of explains a lot of what's going on, and unfortunately I believe that should be done within the book. I mean, that being said, it's kind of an interesting storyline. You have this Delta Force level group of soldiers that are going to eradicate what they come to find out to be supernatural things being used and weaponized by forces against the United States and nature in general. It was an interesting read. It was curious seeing the makeup of the team that you end up with. I don't know if I'm going to continue reading, but I mean, the last panel was enough to get me at least interested in what's going to happen in issue number 2. It was an interesting story. I mean, if you're light this week and you haven't bought a ton of stuff, it's worth a flyer to check out.
All right, next up we have Wolverine #1. Wow, Wolverine's back with a new #1. That costs like $8, but hey, who cares? It's oversized with 2 new stories, and they're a lot of fun. The first one is Wolverine just kind of being a jerk, as he does. Actually, no, that's the second one. I lied. The first one, he's kind of being nice with kids and playing with them and stuff, and then he's smuggling in booze with the Marauders, and the first one just kind of, I don't know, it's a weird story. But the second one, now that's a good story, because that's him and Omega Red pretty much having words where Omega Red wants to go to Krakoa, and they're like, we can't let Omega Red go to Krakoa, he's psychotic. And Magneto's like, whatever, he kills somebody, we resurrect him, it's Krakoa, who gives a crap? And Logan's not having it, and basically you find out why Omega Red showed up in such awful condition in the first place. I like where this went. This has potential. We'll see. We will see. There's 2 very different storylines. I don't know which one they're going to follow, if they're going to converge at some point, but it's worth checking out. They are 2 brand new stories, so you're not paying more for less. It's not reprints hidden in the back. It's pretty good. Check it out.
We have Wonder Woman Dead Earth issue number 2. This is a good read too. Wonder Woman kind of expands on trying to get everybody to get to Themyscira. We get there and we find out things have gone completely wrong because it's Dead Earth. So Themyscira is on Earth, and we find out what has happened. And this changes a lot of what's going on in the book. It's going to be very curious to see how this wraps up. But yeah, as I said the first time, the writing is spectacular. The writing works really well. I'm not a fan of the art, but the art works for what the book is trying to convey to you. And for that reason, I'm okay with it.
All right. What's my pick of the week, Paul?
I have no idea.
It's Bang.
Okay.
It's Bang #1 from Dark Horse Comics, written by Matt Kindt, who I love, and we interviewed on Capes and Scowls a couple months ago, where he was like, I got a thing, I'm not allowed to talk about it. This is it. Bang. First of all, if you were on the fence about this, the pull quote on the cover is from Keanu Reeves, so it's pretty great. That alone should tell you what kind of thing this is. This is a James Bond kind of story, where Thomas Cord is your super spy, and pretty early on, he gets shot in the face. Why would I tell you this? Because he comes back. Because this is kind of like that whole, is James Bond just like a title? This is kind of that story, except you actually come back as a new person. If you're a fan of spy stuff and just action in general, it's all in here. This book's pretty sweet. I will keep reading this. I like Matt Kindt. Every time he does something, it's usually a little different and really good. He did Divinity. Remember I told you all to read Divinity, and you all went out and read Divinity, because I was like, read Divinity or else. You're welcome. This might be on par with that, which is great. So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, if you like that James Bondy kind of spy stuff, this is it with a twist. And it's kind of a interesting twist. So I don't want to take that away from you. But just know, guy gets shot in the face. It's fun. That's weird.
And my pick of the week, it is DCeased Unkillables issue number 1. I raved about the DCeased series. I wasn't sure you necessarily needed more of it, but this is basically something that they kind of anticipated and expanded on. So one of the reasons why you didn't see a lot of the villains that you wanted to see is because they were kind of reserving them for other stories. So this picks up with some unlikely people, such as Jason Todd and Deathstroke, and basically how the rest of the superhero community and supervillain community survived through the 6 days of DCeased. And this picks up right in between day 1 and day 3. So it's got me hooked because I love the series, and the art is spectacular, and the writing is smart. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes.
All right, that's it. You made it to the end. Thank you. Paul would like to say thank you to everybody who said hi to him at KatsuCon. He was a giant fireman, from my understanding, with a big shield. Big shield. And if you want to check that out, they have a new, on the Team Ashen channel, on this very channel, there is a KatsuCon cosplay spotlight video. Check it out. You'll see cool people doing cool things with probably a really annoying pop song behind it. That's my favorite part.
Is it really your favorite part?
No, I hate the music. I really do. I just mute it and put on like a funnier song.
That's just what then it doesn't sync up with the cuts.
Nah, it's great.
That defeats the whole purpose of the video.
You pick something like bleh, with like a constant beat. One of them will hit.
I mean, yeah, but like, it's not like I'm gonna put metal on it.
I know that's your mistake.
It's not a mistake. It's a party con, so it's party music.
Metal parties. Metal party hard.
But not like that.
It's just not for you, but it is for me, so I make the video for me.
Metal's not very kawaii.
I don't even know what that means. Is that a fish?
It is not.
It could have fooled me. I don't fish either. I don't have a good equilibrium. I throw up a lot on boats.
Oh, okay.
Bad equilibrium.
That's probably not the best thing.
Hit my head too many times is what I'm saying. Like a lot. Whew. Oh boy. Man. Where am I right now?